Kamala Harris for the win. The stake starts right now. Good evening. Welcome to our special edition of The Stakes, the post-debate edition. Guys, that was something to behold. Holy shit.
I mean, I'm sure I speak for most people watching this. I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that, ever.
Admittedly, I have watched dozens of debates in my political career.
Oh, sure.
I've been to debates, never to a presidential, but I've been
Yeah.
to primary debates. I was at the debate in Cleveland when Donald Trump went after Megyn Kelly and said blood coming out of her.
Gosh,
The whole
you were
thing.
at that.
Yeah, I was. I think that was Cleveland. Yeah. Yeah. And the whole Rosie O'Donnell thing. I have never seen someone get their ass handed to them as many times as Kamala Harris handed Trump his ass tonight. And I'm not just saying that because obviously we despise Donald Trump and think he's a terrible person and we like Kamala.
But
objectively, that was a disaster for him.
It was really bad.
Disaster. She dominated him from the moment she stepped on the stage. Of course, we all know that we were watching to see if there was going to be a handshake. How would they interact? Because remember, this is the first time they've ever met each other.
Prepared to, like if she had to, but he couldn't even look at her.
No, he never said her name. In 90 minutes, he never said her name. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I did not hear him say her name once. He disrespected her so much that he called her, she, that person, whatever, anything but Kamala. You know why? Because he didn't want to dignify her by saying her name because he has zero respect for her. But when she walked out on that stage, it was absolutely planned that she went right over to him to give him a firm handshake.
Yeah.
And she introduced herself and said, Kamala Harris. So there was no excuse for him if he was going to mispronounce her name.
Right.
And it was a boss move. Boss move.
Make him be the asshole. You know what I mean? Like you do the right thing and then make him do the wrong thing.
Which he did every question, every issue. Seriously, she baited him virtually every question and he fell for it every time. I've never seen it. I've never seen that before. Seriously, I have never seen someone do that before. And I would say, what did I say before this? That this is the first time that Donald Trump will be cross-examined in front of the American people. And that Kamala Harris, as a professional prosecutor, would do it. She destroyed him, sliced and diced him with a million zingers.
Satisfying. You know what it was? I kept thinking back to when she was on the Senate Judiciary and she was doing the confirmation of, Brett Kavanaugh, and then also even early on with Jeff Sessions and I mean, where he's like, oh, you're making me nervous,
Yeah.
It's incredible. It was so satisfying. The entire 90 minutes plus that it was. I
have to say, and thank you for everybody who's joining us.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. And for wanting to hear our hot takes on this and what we think, because we've got some thoughts. We've got some things to say. And Donald Trump tried to shush her twice. And it was cringe.
Sorry if you hear sirens. I live in New York, guys. Sorry.
It's Donald Trump's campaign. Somebody call 911. Campaign.
We got a fire.
We got a 5-alarm fire.
By the way, did you hear how he was saying terror? Because I was dying. I was like, he's so angry. He's so he's so beyond being able to control his emotions that he's like, his Queens was coming out so hard. He was like, the Tara.
Yeah.
The Tara. It's like, he sounds like my grandmother. It's amazing.
I'm telling you. He was like that within the first 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I tweeted it out. I was like, she got under his skin in the first 10 minutes. It didn't take much. All she had to do was throw those little jabs. She was knifing him with zingers constantly, with the words and the phrases that trigger him. Shout out
the laughter.
Shout out to her debate prep team. Whoever prepped her.
Buttigieg was a big part of that.
Well done. Well freaking done. That's what it looks like when you properly prepare for a debate. That's what it looks like.
Yep.
He couldn't handle it. And you know, there was just so many. And I have to say, obviously we are a pro-women's organization. So I was anxiously waiting for the women's rights and reproductive health abortion question. I'm so glad they did it in the first half an hour.
Yeah.
You can tell how this is like one of the debate kind of tricks that they do. You can tell what's at top of mind from by the order in which they ask the questions and what topics are first. And the fact that was one of the first questions in the first 30 minutes, because that's when most people tune in.
Right.
By the hour mark, people are like, okay, I've had it with this. Usually. Only the crazies like us that are fully engaged are going to be like until the very last minute.
Right.
But most people, they tune in for the first half an hour. And she did a master class with her answer on abortion. Master class.
I have it here if you'd like to listen to it.
Let's show it for those
Take a look.
Who want to be reminded. Yes.
Hold on. I got to turn off this banner first so it's not. There we go.
Madam Vice President, I want to get your response to President Trump.
Well, as I said, you're going to hear a bunch of lies, and that's not actually a surprising fact. Let's understand how we got here. Donald Trump hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade. And they did exactly as he intended. And now in over 20 states, there are Trump abortion bans, which make it criminal for a doctor or nurse to provide health care. In one state, it provides prison for life. Trump abortion bans that make no exception even for rape and incest, which understand what that means. A survivor of a crime of violation to their body does not have the right to make a decision about what happens to their body next. That is immoral. And one does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree. The government, and Donald Trump certainly, should not be telling a woman what to do with her body. I have talked with women around our country. You want to talk about this is what people wanted? Pregnant women who want to carry a pregnancy to term, suffering from a miscarriage, being denied care in an emergency room because the healthcare providers are afraid they might go to jail, and she's bleeding out in a car in the parking lot. She didn't want that. Her husband didn't want that. A 12 or 13-year-old survivor of incest being forced to carry a pregnancy to term. They don't want that. And I pledge to you, when Congress passes a bill to put back in place the protections of Roe v. Wade, as President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law. But understand, if Donald Trump were to be reelected, he will sign a national abortion ban. Understand, in his Project 2025, there would be a national abortion, a monitor that would be monitoring your pregnancies, your miscarriages. I think the American people believe that certain freedoms, in particular the freedom to make decisions about one's own body, should not be made by the government.
Thank you.
Bravo. Bravo. She hit every note perfectly. Even going to appealing to people who have religious held beliefs on the issue of abortion.
Really smart.
And saying, look, nobody's asking you to forego your deeply held religious beliefs. But what we can agree on is that the government shouldn't be dictating what women do with their bodies, and sure as hell shouldn't be Donald Trump. I mean, that's like what we've said in our ads. It was right in line with our Seneca Project ads. That is what we have been telling people. And we were starting to do that before even Kamala Harris was the nominee. So this is she took a measured, thoughtful, comprehensive, inclusive approach on a lot of issues. And that one right there, I think she hit a home run. I
agree.
Absolute home run. He looked unhinged. He looked angry, unhinged. His makeup color was off. He really needs, if he's gonna wear makeup, okay, he really needs to go get one of these.
Yeah,
okay?
get a beauty blender, honey.
Get a beauty blender.
Got a blends.
And
right
yes,
at the hairline.
Right here. And he needs to do one of those like online like color tests, Il Maquillage, like that company where you can like do the color testing to match because it ain't working.
I have a friend who's one of those ads, but
I'm just saying. Anyway,
no,
it's
there's actually, I don't know if you've seen, there's a person who a young man who does like makeup looks for Republicans. Have you seen this? And he does one for Donald Trump. It's so funny. I'm gonna have to go find one of them. We'll play it on Thursday.
Yes, and there's one that does the Republicans in like drag, right?
Yes.
Like,
that's so good.
Too. That's really good too. But you know what is really good also? Breaking news. Taylor Swift has endorsed Kamala Harris.
She did? Did it just happen now?
It just happened while we have gone live. She said, quote, "I will be casting my vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz in the 2024 presidential election."
I have goosebumps.
That's a big deal. Everybody's been waiting for this. Everybody's been waiting for this. This is a big deal. I was on Bloomberg earlier tonight before the debate, and shout out to Balance of Power. I really like that show.
They do a great job.
Good. They're really good. I usually listen to it on the radio. Anyway, they were asking, they showed a clip of this Republican woman that was talking about young women voters and saying how, you know, they don't usually vote. It's usually like the older suburban women, but the younger women, they don't vote. And I said, listen, let me tell you something right now. Younger voters are very plugged in. Kamala Harris has them energized, particularly young women.
This generation, more so than anybody.
More so than ever. We saw a record number of young folks voting in the last election. They're even more engaged now. And now they're paying attention because since Roe was overturned, it's like, oh, wait a minute, like our rights are on the line. Like,
right.
And the voter registration is through the roof for young women. So like
now
with Taylor Swift, that's a big endorsement.
I can't believe that I am like hearing this just now. Like this is crazy.
Yes.
My husband's in the other room. I wonder if he's seen it. I'm like, yeah, it's crazy.
Let him know. Yeah, no, it's a big deal. So yeah, little breaking news. Love that. We love that. Let's do some more grumpy Trumpy. He was a grump the whole night.
So
and here's
grumpy.
the thing, like, right? Yeah, the whole just angry and pissed off and condescending. And like when he tried to shush her twice, he tried to use her line against her. Oh, I'm talking, or I'm, does that sound familiar? Stop.
I'm like, stop.
And it was like, womp womp. That didn't
Stop
work.
trying to make fetch happen. You know what I mean?
Right. Like that didn't work. And then he said, quiet, please. Like she's a child. And I just thought to myself, and I saw we tweeted that out too. Like, you think you're going to shush women?
Oh, hell
You're going to hear all of our voices. I was thinking
let me tell you,
that look, Bush.
That look right there. And obviously
there were a few of those. Oh, yeah.
She did it often, but it was just like the side by side, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that was one of the things with obviously the Biden debate was what it was, but I also felt that they did him a disservice with like the angle of how his podium was. It made him look like he was like looking out into something. So their side by sides are, listen, clear as day, clear as day. The two of them first. I mean, he is so orange. Oh my God.
It's bad.
Here's the thing. And I love that she said that she offered a new generation of leadership in the United States at the end.
Yep.
because it's true.
Yes.
And I think that anybody with half a brain, and listen, my husband and I know people who vote for Trump twice.
I mean, yeah, we do too.
It's difficult for us to think about. And these are like, oh, my taxes, like those people. And I said to my husband tonight, I was like, how do a couple of friends look at him and say, yeah, that's my guy? Especially when Goldman Sachs, which Kamala Harris brought up tonight as well.
I'm so glad. I was waiting for it.
Goldman Sachs put out a statement I think in the last week or so, sorry, this bug, that Donald Trump's economic plan would be very, very bad for the United States economy. Kamala Harris's would be good. Now, Goldman Sachs isn't known for their, liberal ideology.
Right. They're not exactly like,
no.
pink hat wearing, rah progressives over there. No, they're not. It's Goldman Sachs. And so doesn't get any more like Wall Street bro than Goldman Sachs. Wasn't there a Twitter account for years or an IG account that was like the Goldman Sachs elevator or something? Yeah, there was. And they would it was kind of like the Dear Angry Staffer account.
Stuff like gossip.
Yeah, so stuff that you would hear making fun of, like things you would hear in a Goldman Sachs elevator. It was really funny. But
Midtown Uniform is also very good. Do you know Midtown Uniform?
No, I don't, but
it's because all the finance bros, right? I don't know if in other cities they dress like this. They all have the Patagonia vest with like the khakis and like the white shirt. And people will take pictures of them in Midtown and in Lower Manhattan with them all walking together.
Right.
And they're like their name. It was like, oh, Brad, Chad, and Thad are on their way to lunch.
Yes, those guys aren't exactly. I mean, come on. But I'm glad she brought it up because that gives credibility. People know Goldman Sachs and they know that that is an authority. And she also well done. She also brilliantly brought up Wharton School of Business.
Yes, I was
like, this is gonna be good because it was early, and you saw him, you knew that bugged him. That was a thing. I went to Wharton, no shit, and they say that they agree with me too. Listen. I mean, it was the Pee Wee Herman. I know you are, but what am I? All night for him. No, you're the one that's bad for democracy. Right. You're the one that's. I mean, you. Well,
it's like I'm the puppet. I'm the pot. You're the puppet. It was very much like that. And not to say that Hillary Clinton was like feeding into it, but
no,
but Kamala Harris really wasn't. She was like, I'm not even gonna give you. The satisfaction or the time to respond to your stupid things that you're saying.
Right. And her body language and her facial expression said it all. And when he said, I knew he was going off the deep end when he said, when she mentioned the crowd sizes, again, brilliant zinger. And he was like, you're the one bussing people in. No one's going to your rallies and you're paying people. I'm like, dude,
would you like to see the rallies clip? I have a rallies clip.
Yes.
Let's watch it.
Let's watch it.
To talk about immigration a lot tonight, even when it's not the subject that is being raised. And I'm going to actually do something really unusual, and I'm going to invite you to attend one of Donald Trump's rallies, because it's a really interesting thing to watch. You will see during the course of his rallies, he talks about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter. He will talk about windmills cause cancer. And what you will also notice is that people start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom. And I will tell you, the one thing you will not hear him talk about is you. You will not hear him talk about your needs, your dreams, and your desires. And I'll tell you, I believe you deserve a president who actually puts you first, and I pledge to you that I will.
Vice President.
I mean,
and I don't have his response to that, but he was saying they don't leave she can't even get people to come to her rallies.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, there's tens of thousands of people at her events.
Yeah.
And again, he's projecting. He's always projecting. And because he knows that he's having a harder time getting people into his rallies. He has been known to bus people in that
and pay them.
So he just assumes everyone else is, so it's always a projection of whatever he's thinking, doing, planning to do, and he blames somebody else for it. He does it every single time.
Every time. Every time. And you know, I was looking at MAGA World and like Fox and some of the right wingers and the meltdown that they were having. And Megyn Kelly actually tweeted that
No.
Kamala's facial expressions were emotional, that they were emotional responses, not
What
in command.
happened to that woman?
I know. She is just disgusting
Never-
now. I
yeah,
can't. Like, she's
I know.
insufferable. She is an insufferable bitch now. I don't know what happened to her. I
Not
really
that I
don't.
was ever like a Megyn Kelly fan.
I
But, like,
was.
sometimes
I was
I know
friends with her.
You knew her.
Yes.
You knew her.
I
Well,
did. Yes, we had lunch together at the Republican convention in 2016 that she invited me to because she wanted me to come to Fox News. True story, people. Private lunch with Megyn Kelly and me during the Republican convention in Cleveland in 2016 per her invitation because she was a fan of mine and saw me on CNN and wanted to recruit me to come to Fox News. She is not the same person.
Well, I'm
Invasion
glad
of the
you
Body
didn't.
Snatchers. I don't know who this person is now, but
Right.
add her to the
like
heap
there's
of others.
something that, and I don't think she's acting either. Like I think
No.
she legitimately has, because you know some
Yes.
of them they're like, oh, they'll say whatever.
Right.
But like she's got an axe to grind,
Yes.
and she is saying all the things. And
I don't know why. She's got
yeah.
like $80 million from her settlement with NBC.
Right.
And it's like, why did you have to go that way? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to go like on a mega
I know,
tangent,
but my
like,
point is that she's
yeah.
part of this is a coordinated response. Frank Luntz put out like a thing about like a side by side that said Kamala's winning on substance but losing on appearance. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? Trump had a puss on his face the whole time with a shit orange horrible makeup on, and he was sweating and scowling, and he wouldn't even look at her. And his body language, right, doing a sniff thing, and she was completely relaxed, in command, and was looking at. She was all of us sane people when she was like, what?
Right,
and laughing at the absurdity. The guy talked about people eating pets.
So I was going to say that coordinated messaging. So I don't know if you all saw this, but JD Vance posted a tweet today. Now he had said it previously on the floor of the Senate. I don't know exactly when it was.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of this until today.
Yeah, there was a video of it, and JD Vance posted it today. And it was about, Haitian migrants coming to this town in Ohio, taking over and abducting. And I'm sorry, this is so gross and upsetting. Abducting and eating people's pets. Okay. This was all based on some rando Facebook post that somebody read or saw somewhere.
Of course.
It has no basis in fact. This is not a thing. They just made it up. And I'm scrolling through Twitter to Jim Jordan. Like they're all saying it.
Nancy Mace posted a picture with her cat. Like the weirdos were posting AI photos of Trump with cats and like ducks and dogs and stuff. The only reason why I know about this is because I was on Mary Trump's podcast today, her live stream, and I'm part of the Nerd Avengers there. And she, and congrats to Mary, by the way, go get her book. She just released a new book today. Anyway, and Mary's on our advisory board, so we love her. But she brought it up during that and I was like, wait, what the fuck? I said, what is this? What is this? And then I started to see it proliferating
everywhere
in social. And the fact that this dumbass actually brought this crazy shit up during a presidential debate. People, this was a debate for the presidency of the United States.
Right. A general, like the general, not like a weird primary where there's
even if it was,
I know.
Still, like,
I'm just saying that the bar is low.
Is batshit lunacy.
Yeah.
And he brought this up into the ether on the largest stage next to a Super Bowl.
But again, like the projection, I'm like, you want to talk about animal cruelty?
Yeah.
You've got your son shooting her dog and whatever the dog, like what is like a goat or something, and then writing about it. And then you've got RFK Jr., his new secretary of not vaccinating anybody, and he eats dogs and takes bears and puts them in the Central Park. And then there's a new story where he like did something bad to a whale. Like and then don't forget his stupid son. Yeah, his children
from when they would go that, big game hunting, which is just
Yeah.
disgusting, right?
It's
Because they don't
awful.
even, first of all, I don't understand hunting. No offense
I
to
don't
people who
either.
hunt,
I
but
know, like,
I'm
no
from New
offense,
Jersey,
but
so I'm
yeah,
sorry.
I don't like it.
But I don't like the big game hunting because it's not even fair, because they put them in like
No.
a fenced area, or they like tranquilize them, and so that they can get their rocks off shooting at big
Right.
animals because their dicks are this big and they need to prove themselves by killing animals. I cannot, and I haven't had a drink.
Tara After Dark, everybody.
I'm just saying. I mean, it's obvious. So, like, they all need to shut the hell up. Donald
I
Trump
know.
hates animals. So this whole
Right.
thing
He
is
said it was
just,
low class to have animals. Remember,
Yeah.
Mike Pence has like a ton of animals
yeah,
and brought them into the vice president's residence. And he was like, that's low class. You need to not have them.
yeah.
I
First
mean,
president not to have a pet in the White House in, like, I don't know how
psychotic.
long, because
Psychotic.
he's a selfish megalomaniac crazy person who
Mhm.
cannot possibly give love to another thing that,
Mm-mm.
the way pets do. So, I mean, like, pets are like part of the family. He doesn't love his own kids. You think he's going to love a pet? Forget it. So anyway, I cannot. People were joking. They're like, hide Tiki. Yeah, Tiki's upstairs with my husband sleeping soundly. My husband's asleep
Aw.
because he has to go to work early.
My little one's over here and my other one's in the room
Yes.
with Joe.
I mean,
Past their bedtime.
like, seriously, Donald, like, cut it out. And the fact that his cult members were perpetuating this too, as if that's believable.
And it will continue probably for another week or two.
This is lunacy.
Mhm.
This is the presidency for the United States. We're the greatest country in the world. And we've got a jackass telling people that, the Haitians are going to come and eat your pets. What?
It's so like it's like xenophobic, it's racist, it's like
all the
wrong,
things.
it's a lot, like it's disgusting, there's so many different things, wrong with this.
I see. The only thing I wish Kamala would have done, I mean, I think she gets an A+ from me, but I just sitting there, I just would have been like, when he did that, I would have been like, do you hear this?
Yeah.
Do you hear this? That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Like, but some of her facial expressions were like that, which is why Fox and all the others are flipping out about it, trying to denigrate her facial expressions, because they were actually appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
And she was in command of it. Like, it was natural. It was natural, which is something I think she struggled with before.
Yeah.
In 2019 and years ago, she struggled with the authenticity thing. I even felt like
a
that.
lot of women do, right?
Yeah,
Because
you try to be all things. You don't know what, can't be too much,
like if I'm this, I'm going to be too soft or too emotional. But if I'm too hard, then I'm a bitch, and I'm that,
Yes.
So it's like Hillary Clinton, I think went through this most of her career, and I think it wasn't until after she had run for president that she finally,
she finally said, "Fuck it."
Yeah, she's like,
she didn't
got
care
a
anymore.
Chardonnay, and she's like, we see real Hillary now, and it's like, oh gosh, it sucks that you had to kind of wear a mask for so long, and so many women do, and I think that we all kind of understand that, and it's like, so it makes perfect sense that Fox News, and I'm sure other outlets as well, will do that. That she's too emotional or she made too many faces. I'm like, we can't win. It doesn't matter.
Right. It's exactly right. And as women, we're judged so much more harshly.
Mm-hmm.
And especially as women of color, it's the Ginger Rogers thing. Women, Ginger Rogers, the expression that she did everything
backwards and in heels.
Backwards and in heels, right. That Fred Astaire did, but backwards and in heels. And for women of color, it's even double that. So I thought she hit all the marks, and it was encouraging. I mean, we were so depressed, and it was, the last debate was just so awful. Everyone was so shell shocked.
Right. Remember, we did it
with Denver,
with Denver and Rena.
Yeah. Yes, and we were like,
and Denver was like, I don't have words, and we're like, it wasn't that bad.
I mean, it was bad.
We're trying,
but Trump was bad too,
That's the thing. And I was saying to my husband tonight, because I was like, it was before the debate started, and I'm like, all they keep talking about is her performance. When she comes up, what is she going to do? What's she going to say? She has to be this. She has to be that.
Yep.
I'm like, that dude can't string 3 words to get together with proper punctuation or anything. He's just a stream of consciousness of dumbassery.
Yes.
he just shows up and looks orange, and they're like, "Oh, he did
Right.
okay."
Right. Like, oh, well, Jake Tapper actually said, as I was walking into my studio to hop on with you guys, I actually heard Jake Tapper in the background say, well, Kamala Harris didn't really talk much about her policies tonight. She was thin under. I was like, okay, I cannot. She's like, are you fucking kidding? This is not a policy damn election.
No.
It's not. And she is sane. She's a normal human being. She's got policies that we're not all going to agree on, but they are rational. They're well thought out. A lot of the times, the policy specifics never happen because they have to go through Congress, which is something else that Trump said tonight, that because of all the other crazy shit that I made a note of, in the beginning, he said they could, when he tried to insult Joe Biden and he was like, just wake him up and have him sign the bill. Right. You don't need to do anything. You could just sign the bill. Dude, that's not how it works. Okay? That's not how it works.
Schoolhouse Rock.
Right. I'm only a bill sitting on Capitol Hill. Maybe somebody should send it to him. But that's not how you govern in America. That's how it works in Russia.
Well, he's thinking dictator.
Yeah, well, he used Viktor Orban as a character witness tonight, for fuck's sake. Seriously? Oh, well, Viktor Orban said, oh, that's the guy you're going to pick? Man. Yeah, the guy who slowly has chipped away at the democratic institutions in Hungary. That's who you choose. By the way, foreign policy, she knocked it out of the park. Knocked it out of the park tonight.
I mean, mouth agape. Like, I was like, yes. The stuff about Ukraine.
Yes.
Also, Iran.
Brilliant.
I mean, I thought her answer on Israel was great. I mean, I thought it was all really smart and measured and not phony. Like, she really was speaking from a very truthful place and knowledgeable place, because she knows what she's doing. Yes. She knows what she's talking about.
And all he did was insult her. She doesn't know. She never said Kamala. Never.
So I didn't notice that, but now I
noticed it.
Right.
Because I wanted to see if he was going to deliberately mispronounce her name, because that's what they do. The MAGAs do it.
Or comrade or whatever.
Comrade Kamala.
He did call her a Marxist at some point, which
very early.
I don't think he knows what Marxist means, first of all. And second of all, speaking of things I don't think he knows what they mean. IVF.
Yes.
He kept saying
fertilization or something.
IVF, the fertilization.
Yeah.
The IVF, the fertilization. I was like, there is no way. On planet Earth that this man knows what IVF stands for. And I don't think he knows what it is.
No, he has no idea. And he was flustered in that. And I thought to myself, you know what? Yes, I've been a leader on IVF, which is fertilization.
Which is fertilization.
Yeah. I have been a leader on it, on fertilization, IVF. You know what? This is what Donald Trump and JD Vance actually think of IVF. And I think this is a good time for us to roll our latest ad, Hope.
Let's do it. Hold on. Where is it?
Oh, that's okay. You'll find it.
I'm sorry. It's here.
It's okay.
No,
it's okay. There it is.
Now we'll play
Hope.
It wasn't easy getting here. The loss, the heartbreak. My wife is tough. Resilient. She said, we'll just keep trying. I didn't know much about IVF until we needed it. There were moments when all hope felt lost. But we finally got our miracle. From the moment I held her, I vowed to protect her. If it were up to Donald Trump and JD Vance, our little girl wouldn't even exist. They don't care about the joys, the sacrifices. They only care about their control over our lives and her future. Who the hell are they to tell us how or when we become moms and dads? We know what's best for our families. It's time to stand together, not with any party, but as parents. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz get that. That's why this fall, I'm voting for her. I'm voting for hope.
If you guys like that ad, please support us. We are fundraising big time to get that ad on the airwaves in the battleground states.
Yes.
Because Donald Trump is trying to muddy the waters. He supports IVF. He is the leader in fertilization.
Right.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Well,
fertilization.
And here's the thing. And so if any of you, follow us on Instagram, stuff like that. So Instagram, I don't know what's going on with the algorithm over there, but like MAGA is like big up in our comments right now, and on the Liz Cheney post and on this ad, and they're like, how stupid are you people?
Yeah.
He said he loves IVF and he's going to make it free for everybody. And I'm like, cool.
Yeah, who's the stupid one?
Right. And it's just they listen to these lies that he said. And we all know it's a cult and you're not going to change these people's mind. Don't even try.
No.
Don't even try to argue with them. But, he says a whole lot of things, like the stuff tonight he was talking about the federal abortion ban, or national abortion ban, which is a part of Project 2025, which we all know. And he says, we're going to leave it to the states. We're going to leave it to the states. Well, first of all, number one, we know that in states that have gotten the signatures to put it on the ballot, there's in the state of Florida, Ron DeSantis is sending police to people's homes who signed it.
Yeah, this is crazy.
To check in on the fraud.
This is fascist shit.
Intimidation. Yeah, it's fascist. It's intimidation. So it's like, okay, we're sending it to the states, but then we're going to break the law and not allow it on the ballot. I mean, they're trying to not allow it on the ballot.
Yeah.
And, who's going to stop me?
They tried it in Missouri also.
Which as of today.
Right. We talked to some activists in Missouri on a chat, and they were saying she worked on getting signatures to get an abortion measure on the ballot there. And the Republicans tried to do some process bullshit and question the signatures.
Right.
And to invalidate it being on the ballot. And the Missouri Supreme Court actually said, no, it's going on the ballot. So that's a win there in Missouri.
Right. Right. And then even tonight, so they asked him about the national abortion ban. Will you sign it?
Yeah.
Wouldn't answer
it.
Question.
They asked him 3 times.
I have this clip.
Yes.
Idea. And how unfair that would have been, part of the reason they lost, to the millions and millions of people that had to pay off their student loans. They didn't get it for free. But they were saying it's the same way that they talked about that they talk about abortion.
But if I could just get a yes or no, because your running mate, J.D. Vance, has said that you would veto it if it did come to your desk.
Well, I didn't discuss it with J.D. in all fairness. J.D., and I don't mind if he has a certain view, but I think he was speaking for me, but I really didn't. Look, we don't have to discuss it because she'd never be able to get it, just like she couldn't get student loans. They couldn't get student loans. They didn't even come close to getting student loans. They taunted young people and a lot of other people that had loans. They can never get this approved. So it doesn't matter what she says about going to Congress. Well, wonderful. Let's go to Congress, do it. But the fact is that for years they wanted to get it out of Congress and out of the federal government. And we did something that everybody said couldn't be done. And now you have a vote of the people on abortion.
What? It was a yes or no question. And I also,
know what that means.
I don't know what any of that means, but I want to say this about the moderators. David Muir and Lindsay did an amazing job. They actually did. This is one of the first times I think in many years that I haven't had a complaint about the moderators. Yeah. Now, one little complaint, they did let Trump kind of rebut a few more times, and they should have
talked a little bit.
Yeah, they let him get his last little words in a couple more times than I would have liked, but for the most part, 99%, they did a great job. And the fact that they fact checked him appropriately, they didn't overdo it, but they appropriately fact checked him, particularly on this bullshit about they execute babies after they're born.
So okay? I am so glad you're bringing that up.
We talked about this last Thursday. Michelle, you did the research.
Right.
So remind people who didn't see it.
So I didn't know about this, but I was wondering, just like, a lot of other people, where the hell did this come from? This is insane.
Mm-hmm.
They're not, and then they kill the baby in the ninth month. And he says it like execute the baby sometimes after they're born, which we all know is not true.
Right.
So this was based on a 2019 radio interview that Ralph Northam did. He was the former governor of Virginia, which Donald Trump said West Virginia, which was incorrect.
Incorrect.
He went back and fixed it and said Virginia later on. But Jessica Valenti, if you don't follow her, definitely follow her. Find her on all the platforms. She writes and researches about abortion and reproductive rights in this country literally every day. Sign up for her Substack. I get it in my inbox every single day. I'm always learning so much from her. And she actually did a straight to camera video for the Meteor, where she's doing a weekly series that they're going to have new videos on Tuesdays, where she talks about this. And it was the first time that I had I'm like, what? I mean, I have the video if you want to watch it again. Should we show people?
We don't have to. We can just
Okay.
tell them because it's late.
Yeah, just go back and watch it. Go back and watch it. Or I'll link it in the description later.
Yep. Or just follow Jessica Valenti. She'll appreciate it. She does a lot of hard work. She
does. And like for us, I mean, we don't have like, you know, a huge team of people that we can send out to research. I mean, it takes a lot of time and a lot of resources to really kind of wade through all this stuff. And you know, she's just an incredible resource, you know, for us, for a lot of people. So, but yeah, that's where that originated.
Crazy.
And
some BS that Ralph Northam, and it wasn't even, it was not even accurate. The whole thing was some hypothetical craziness, and they've run with this. And I'm just so glad that you know, the moderators were like, there's nowhere in America where that happens. Like they where they do that at, not here. So once again, this is an issue that he needed to be checked on. And this was on display in front of millions of Americans watching this. And you know, I was looking at some
ABC, not Fox, you know?
Right. That's right. Like he forgets you're talking to normal people now. When she said, I encourage people to go to his rallies, like, you know, or watch his rallies, I was like, oh my God, brilliant. When she brought up John McCain and in the healthcare question,
that was
brilliant.
So good.
Because let's remember who is going to make the difference in this election. It is the moderates in 5 to 7 swing states. That is it, people. It's not going to be the crazies in Idaho. It's not going to be the, you know, the red state MAGA people who are going to in Kentucky or wherever. It's going to be moderate independent voters, mostly women, as we believe. That's why we started the Seneca Project. Do you think that Donald Trump's answers tonight on those issues resonated? It made those people go, yeah, I can't wait to vote for that guy.
I have a concept of a plan.
Yeah. What?
They're like, you've had all this time. Like, do you have a plan? You know, you tried. How many times was it?
Oh, it was like 33 or something like that. It might have been more by the time it was over.
Do you have a plan? And he's like, I have a concept of a plan.
I have a concept of a plan. I was waiting for Kamala Harris to go, is it going to be the same with your infrastructure plan?
Right.
In 2 weeks? Oh, by the way, we passed that.
Yeah. Right.
We passed that. Not you, Mr. Full of Shit. Like there was just so many glorious moments throughout this whole thing. But of course, for us at Seneca, it was really, really important for us to hear the women's issues, to hear the domestic policy issues. I mean, I have an interest in foreign policy because for president, that's actually what you have the most influence on unilaterally is foreign policy. So I was very happy about that. And something that makes us unique from other, like the campaigns, is that we could focus on very specific issues. So like that's why we're like, when people support us, and we're so thankful again, thank you to everybody who's continued to support financially. When you support us, you know that what we're focusing on is very laser focused. The campaigns, they have to do a lot. They have to placate a lot of different constituencies, a lot of different people in multiple places. So where we get to focus, if you care about the issues that we care about, that's all we do. So the difference, you know, like the campaigns, they got to do a lot of different things. And
a lot of messages.
Yeah. Like for example, over the weekend, the Kamala campaign put out a great ad on IVF. The woman direct to camera talking about her experience in Alabama and what Alabama did and what happened when they stopped the IVF there, and how she was like getting ready to go to her doctor a couple days and they were like, sorry, we can't do it now. Those are heartbreaking stories. But that only ran for like a day. No one else has done an IVF ad the way we've done from a dad's perspective.
Yeah,
I haven't seen girl dads. I haven't seen one yet. So that's the kind of like unique stuff that you get when you support us, the Seneca Project. So we just wanted to say thank you for that. And
thank you.
We're new. People are still getting to know us.
Brand spanking new.
Brand new, you know, so only a couple months old, but laser focused and dedicated and doing it from the heart. So we just, I just wanted to make that point. I also have the full statement from Taylor Swift. There's more. I figured you would appreciate this because of this IVF conversation. She mentions that. Taylor Swift. I will be casting my vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz in 2024 in the 2024 presidential election. I'm voting for Kamala Harris because She fights for the rights and causes I believe need a warrior to champion them. I think she is a steady-handed, gifted leader, and I believe we can accomplish so much more in this country if we are led by calm and not chaos. I was so heartened and impressed by her selection of running mate Tim Walz, who has been standing up for LGBTQ rights, IVF, and a woman's right to her own body for decades.
Listen,
That's a statement.
again.
Oh, and Tim Walz is a disaster, by the
Again.
way. That guy she picked for vice president, he's terrible.
Listen,
Okay, Trump.
like, okay.
That's your guy. That's your guy who's a disaster. Once again, projecting. But
Right. To which I always say, does JD Vance know we can hear him?
right.
We can hear you, dude.
I apparently him and JD Vance don't talk, because didn't he throw him under the bus when they were like, well, JD Vance said that he's supportive of a national
Yeah, and
abortion
then he's
ban
just
or
like,
whatever.
no, I didn't say that, or I didn't talk to
Yeah,
him. We didn't talk about that.
that.
Listen, when JD Vance was running for Senate in the primary in Ohio against Josh Mandel,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, in the primary.
Yeah.
Another loon.
He called JD Vance JD Mandel.
That's right, he did.
Like
sure
on
did.
stage, like
Yeah, I remember.
publicly at his event.
Yeah. Well, didn't he just call Elon Musk some other name? Leon. He called him Leon Musk. Leon Musk. Yeah.
Good old Leon.
Yeah. But oh, he's cognitively all there. Yeah. Didn't he say something about see spot run tonight? Didn't he use some example?
He did. What was that about?
I don't remember. It was in the beginning. And I was like, really? You know what? The cognitive test was that debate. There you have it, people.
Listen.
There's the cognitive test right there.
You know, it's so funny. My mom's in her 70s, and she had her physical this morning, and she texted me, well, I passed the man, woman, camera, TV test. I guess I can run for president now.
She's more qualified than Trump.
I was like, go ahead, Mom. I was like, it's a step up from the other guy. So,
yes,
you know.
for sure. Oh, my gosh.
It's really funny.
Well, listen, I think I'll be very curious to see the headlines tomorrow. I'll be very curious to see what the New York Times does, and if they try to sane wash, which is a new term that I learned today also.
Aaron Rufar came up with that.
Yes, that very, very good. That's true. Like we say whitewash history, right? But the sane washing is so true, where it's basically the normalization of Trump's behavior and trying to, and in the name of objectivity. And
sure,
the New York Times has been awful, right? And I'm sorry, it's that is not being fair or objective by normalizing him. They need to be honest about how batshit crazy and dishonest and dangerous the shit that he says is. But anyway,
well, no, and I wanted to say, so the New York Times pitch bot, who makes like the fake headlines, if you guys don't know PitchBot, there was one tonight that said Kamala Harris is too prepared.
Of course.
And it made me, so there was an article that came out, was it last week, from some former staffers or something, leaking or talking to the press about how, it's really hard to brief her because she shows up like very prepared and she asks questions.
I know. And she reads all the footnotes.
I am just gonna say it again. There was all this shit that was going on when she was running for president before. Kamala Harris is mean. Nobody likes her. She has a lot of staff turnover. She makes people work too hard. Why is it when a woman shows up to do her job, is prepared to do so, works hard, and expects the same from everybody around her? Not a crazy amount, just the right amount of work that is required to do a job like she has. Somehow she is then bossy, mean, over the top. Yeah. Everybody thinks, or she thinks everybody works for her.
Right.
Difficult. Things like that.
Yeah. Like it's
difficult.
Again, it's the woman tax, right?
Yeah.
And another brilliant thing she did tonight about the Trump sales tax, the Trump tax on goods and things like that, because she's right, because that's what tariffs do on a lot of things, and assigning that to him. So that was brilliant.
Yep.
But it's true. I mean, women, we're judged by a different standard, and that we're trying to. We'll see if she can overcome that misogyny, because it's built in. It's systemic. It's built in, just like why was everybody so concerned about her facial expressions, her, all of that? Like, she can't win for losing.
No,
If she laughs too much, oh, she's not serious and she's cackling. If she smiles, then she's aloof. But if she stays serious and she was, mean or like, I mean, bitchy. And it's like, I almost wore my Great American Bitch t-shirt tonight. I thought about it.
That would be so great.
I thought about it. I wore it yesterday for my birthday. When we were taking pictures.
Happy belated birthday to Tara.
Thank
Tara's
you.
birthday was yesterday.
Yes, it was.
Our Virgo friend.
Yes, I'm a Virgo. And thank you, everyone. 49 years young. I'm totally freaked out by it, but whatever.
Just a number.
Yeah, it's just a number. But thank you to everyone.
We're also lucky to be here, right?
Yes. And thank you to everyone who sent me well wishes and happy birthdays. I appreciated that. It was cool. We had to keep it low key this year. Last year we were in Italy and did a whole big thing because it was our 10-year anniversary and my birthday. So my anniversary and my birthday
will have a big one.
Yeah, they're 5 days apart. So we usually combine them. But this year, because of the election, we kept it low key. We stayed local. And like my husband cooks a really good meal. He made me like escargot and scallops. And it's really good. I know. My mom made a homemade shortcake, a strawberry shortcake, because I love them. So it was so good. I posted the pictures on Instagram. Long. Oh, my mom makes the best homemade strawberry shortcake. So
next time I'm coming, I'm going to make her.
Mom will do it for you, Kenny. No problem. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, it was like, we were just like, I'm like, what else can we endure as women? Like, as far as like the standard of what people expect, it's just, it can be frustrating, but it can also be empowering.
It is.
And I think that this is a moment where women are empowered. We are not in the shit anymore. We're not going to let men shush us. We're not going to stand by and take it. Women have had enough, and we're galvanized. We're enthused. And again, Kamala Harris has exceeded expectations so far at every turn.
Yeah.
And we'll see. I mean, we still have several weeks to go. It's still incredibly close.
Yeah.
So we can be happy tonight, but there's still work.
There's so much work to be done. There's so much work to be done. And I want to say, just on the subject of women running for president and like, you can't do anything right. I've read articles about how she's doing so well in terms of enthusiasm and approval and support, because there wasn't a primary where she had to fight a bunch of people on stage and seem ambitious.
Right. That's another derogatory.
Right.
Yeah.
She's ambitious.
Right. Right. Well, didn't Trump say, "Oh, Biden hates you"?
Oh, he hates her. He hates
her because she that's your people. Those are your people. They hate you. Actually, Donald, your own vice president hates you.
Right. Didn't she brought Anthony Scaramucci and Olivia Troy right to speak before or something, right? They were with her.
I saw the on Twitter that they were over there. And the Mooch is a Seneca supporter. We appreciate him.
We're very grateful to him.
We are. Look, she brought up the 200 Republicans that support her.
Yes.
And like, why do they support her? That was, again, brilliant.
Yes.
Her January 6th answer was brilliant.
I don't know if we have time, but I do have it.
Yo, let's play it.
Okay.
Everyone's still hanging out.
Listen, we're all here.
We're all here.
We'll play it out. Let's play it. Oh, wait, hold on. I do need to take the banner down first.
Oh.
See, guys, I'm running. I'm hella whiskey, guys. It's all right.
That's
you
all
as
right.
president, not about former Speaker Pelosi, but I do want Vice President Harris to respond here.
I was at the Capitol on January 6th. I was the vice president-elect. I was also an acting senator. I was there. And on that day, the President of the United States incited a violent mob to attack our nation's capital, to desecrate our nation's capital. On that day, 140 law enforcement officers were injured, and some died. And understand, the former president has been indicted and impeached for exactly that reason. But this is not an isolated situation. Let's remember Charlottesville, where there was a mob of people carrying tiki torches spewing anti-Semitic hate. And what did the president then at the time say? There were fine people on each side. Let's remember that when it came to the Proud Boys, a militia, the president said, the former president said, stand back and stand by. So for everyone watching who remembers what January 6th was, I say we don't have to go back. Let's not go back. We're not going back. It's time to turn the page. And if that was a bridge too far for you, well, there is a place in our campaign for you to stand for country, to stand for our democracy, to stand for rule of law, and to end the chaos, and to end the approach that is about attacking the foundations of our democracy because you don't like the outcome. And be clear on that point. Donald Trump, the candidate, has said in this election there will be a bloodbath if this and the outcome of this election is not to his liking. Let's turn the page on this. Let's not go back. Let's chart a course for the future and not go backwards to the past.
Let me just...
Listen, in the words of the future president of the United States, we won't go back. Mm-hmm. And here at the Seneca Project, that is one of our mantras, something that we are passionate about, it's a message that we are taking to women in moderate women in those swing states to remind them that we cannot go back to that chaos. We cannot go back to the days where women were treated as second-class citizens. And it's okay for you. You have a place with Kamala Harris. She is the one we can trust on this issue to protect us, to protect our daughters, to protect our futures, not Donald Trump, JD Vance, and these mega MAGA misogynists who hate women and are just plain weirdos. So on that note, thank you to everybody who's hung out with us tonight.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. I mean, like I'm seeing how many people have watched and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Thank you for choosing us to come and hang out with after the debate. I know there's a lot of places you could be. So
yes, if you haven't subscribed, like and subscribe on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel and our IG and all the places so you can follow our work. If you go to our website, sign up for the email so you can get updates on when our ads drop. And every Thursday, 7:30, we do the stakes. So you can join us again next week, 7:30 on Thursday.
2 days from now.
Yes. Oh, that's right. It is. Jesus, like next week. I'm already talking about next week. I know. It's a lot going on. It's welcome to campaign season. 2 more days. Join us on Thursday.
I know.
At 7:30. And I'm not the one drinking. But we're on that note. We're going to end with our ad. We won't go back. We'll see you on Thursday.
Bye, everybody.
In July 1848, courageous women came together in Seneca Falls, New York, to start a movement. They dared to fight against treatment as second-class citizens. After decades of struggle, women fought and won the right to vote, to work without discrimination, to control our bodies, to even open bank accounts without the permission of a man. Each one was a triumph against those who believed we didn't deserve them. Well, today, those hard-fought victories are under attack. Donald Trump and his allies are determined to send us back to a time when we had no say, no freedom, no choice.
I got rid of Roe v. Wade.
Do we want a future where our daughters have fewer rights than our grandmothers? Where their bodies are state property? Their voices silenced? Their opportunities erased? We say hell no. We won't go back. This November, we must take back what is ours. For ourselves, for our daughters, and for the pioneers of Seneca Falls. It's up to us.
Do you believe in punishment for abortion?
There has to be some form of punishment.